What is an unexplainable memory from your childhood? When I was a kid, I had a classmate over who claimed he was a vampire. I didn't believe him. I told him if his eyes glow in the dark, that would prove he was a vampire. We went into the bathroom and I turned off the light. His eyes were glowing. It scared the crap out of me. I opened the door, ran outside, jumped on my bike and got as far away from my house as I thought I could. When I eventually came back home, the classmate was gone and my dad was pissed that I abandoned my friend. The stuff eye doctors use for certain tests glows in the dark. An eye doctor's son used to play this very prank on people. Are you OP's vampire friend? Is that it? You didn't talk afterwards. Only my neighbor was able to make it to my birthday party because of an incredibly strong and sudden snowstorm. I remember the day and the snow so clearly, but my birthday is in July. Maybe it was a party, but not your birthday party. My daughter thinks every occasion is her birth party and there is no convincing her otherwise. I used to have nightmares. My dad put up a poster of Peter Pan in my room and told me that when I went to sleep, Peter would fly out of the poster and chase all of the monsters away. I never had another bad dream. That's a really lovely end to the story. I started having really bad nightmares recently. My parents bought me a stuffed armadillo and I convinced my brain that my armadillo would protect me from nightmares. So yeah, apparently that shit works even if you're 20. I've trained myself to have superpowers in my nightmares. Every night before bed, I just lay there with my eyes closed and make up a story of me fighting crime with superpowers. I've done this so often that now whenever I have nightmares, I'll turn around and fight whatever is scaring me. It's great. The whole neighborhood thought I was kidnapped. I don't really know why and what the actual fuck is the thought process of how they think that happened, but apparently the people are frantically searching me. What I remembered is that my elder cousin and her husband took me to an internet cafe to let me watch them pick their wedding outfits. When we returned, everyone was shocked. My brother smiles because they knew I was in trouble. My mom was crying, and my dad slapped the shit out of me. It was so surreal. Shouldn't they have been pissed at your cousin instead? And why the fuck didn't they ask your parents' permission? This one is really odd. I know, right? This one also made my head hurt. LMAO. Did you ever get an explanation, when you got older, of what actually happened? When I was a little kid, I thought that the mountain ranges on the horizon on the way to Grandma and Grandpa's house were built by my Uncle Richard. I have no idea how this idea got into my head, but I remember that when I figured out that there was no way it was possible, I was pretty bummed out. I bet Old Dick didn't deny any of it. Old Dick rarely denies it. That's like me with the road my grandpa lives on. It's a small town and the road is dirt. My mom always referred to it as Grandpa's Street since almost no houses were on it. As a little kid, I took that seriously and thought it made it. I remember being young and always looking for a toy. I never found it, but I also never knew what I was looking for. It baffles me to this day why I looked so hard for something I didn't know what it was. When I was about 5 or 6, my younger brother told me he wanted to show me a secret. He was 3 or 4. We waited until no one was around and he started jumping on Tramp. He said, "Ready? Watch this?" Quote dot. And then hung suspended in the air for about 10 seconds. It sounds crazy, but to this day we both know it happened. On the first read-through, I thought Tramp was going to mean hobo, vagrant, and let me tell you, it changes the story a bit. I was like 3 to 5 years old when this happened. I woke one night while camping in a cabin, and I saw a cat tail dangle from this lamp. It'd sink down, and then disappear back up into the lampshade. It also started calling for me, going like woo-hoo. quote, unnerved the hell out of little me. I can't remember if I just never checked to see if there was anything there, or that I did check and there was nothing there. I chalk it up to just being so tired I was hallucinating. The Cheshire Cat was inviting you to Wonderland. My mom told me that when I was a toddler, I would almost never drink any liquids. This was until I was 5 when I hit my jaw on a pole. And for some reason, after that, I always drink lots of water, even to this day. Your mom probably said, drink your water or I'll hit you in the jaw with this pole. Edit. Thanks for the awards. Remember kids to stay hydrated and avoid poles. If no one else will reward you for this beautiful comment, I will. I remember jumping from the top of my stairs to the bottom. I would just close my eyes and jump, boom, I was at the bottom. When I was about 4 or 5, I was in the foyer by my front door when I saw my father come in the house, put down his briefcase, and then walk to my mother to give her a kiss on the cheek. Then the front door opened again. It was my father. Again. I looked next to me where I had seen him put his briefcase. It was gone. I looked back at him, scared, and said, "You just did that." I have never hallucinated in the more than 25 years since this happened, and nothing like it has ever happened since. I welcome theories or explanations. Thanks. Glitch in the Matrix. This sounds like classic deja vu. There is a theory that it is a form of mini-seizure where the different parts of your brain take different amounts of time to store a live memory. It's very common in young children. This might be of interest. Every year at our cabin I have a dream I fall into the lake. Was told later that I fell in when I was younger. I never have this dream at home. I decay if the repressed memory is trying to tell me not to go on the water or just don't be stupid and fall face first. That's the lake calling you. Remember what's under the waves. Breathing underwater. Turns out a lot of people have memories of being able to do something similar. Still haven't gotten an explanation. Well, we did all spend 9 months scuba diving before springing forth into the world. I met Dolly Parton when I was a kid. I have no idea why or how, but it was in Illinois. It was like meeting the sun. She was just the nicest person ever. And it was the first time I ever met anyone with a southern accent, and I told her that and she died laughing. I know my dad took me, but nobody really knows why. I just watched the Drunk History episode about her. She wrote, "I will always love you," to tell Porter Wagoner she was starting a solo career. Most people would have just bailed, but she wrote one of the most beautiful songs ever recorded for him. Then she helped him repeatedly when his career imploded and asked nothing in return. She's a real classy lady. I was laying down in bed trying to fall asleep. All of a sudden it appeared that a ghost hand emerged from behind my bookshelf and grabbed the book on the end of the shelf. I was scared out of my mind at first, but then convinced myself it was just a dream so I could fall asleep. The next day when I woke up, the book on the end of the shelf was missing. I never could find it. You donated a good book to a ghost, good on you. But what book? The Baba book. I was punished by my foster parents who were really old for fooling around in church. The old woman got so angry that when we got home she had me kneel in the corner as punishment all day. I remember looking out on the window when I was taking a peek behind me and time sped up and I watched the sun move across the sky in seconds. It was early, after morning Sunday church. Right up until the sun left my view from the window and the sky was the color of sunset. It was so weird. It was a common form of punishment, but it's a clear memory, but I'll never be able to explain it. Sometime before the age of 5, I remember being convinced that if I tried hard enough, and believed in myself, I could fly, so I would practice flying, jumping down the stairs when nobody was watching. I never developed my ability to fly, but I vividly remember basically cannonballing down 14 steps, and just gliding down in midair, and landing at the bottom totally safe and uninjured, many times over the years. I used to dream this as a child really often, specifically flying downstairs and beyond. When we moved from that house into another, I was so upset because I wouldn't be able to fly anymore. I needed those specific stairs. Holy shit, we need to move to a one-story house before our son wins the Darwin Award. You, Spider Rescue's parents. Probably. I too have this memory, and only just now realize it doesn't make sense.
Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox.